Today is 17th of August 2016 at about 11:34. Market gap down today and trade a narrow range bar with extremely low volume. So there's lack of activity today. Now after the Brexit incident, we had an extremely strong move followed by a pullback and break on the upside. Now during this retracement, it tested the 200 days, which is this line here, and bounced off. This is a positive development, and currently actually is trading sideways. It is important that this level here hold. We do not like the market to cover this gap here, and 200 days moving averages provide significant support. We'd like to see the market eventually test this intraday high here of 2893, eventually take out 2900, which is a significant resistance. If you notice, it was tested on 2 occasions before it gapped down, so this is important. Now over the last 1 month or so, markets actually rallied quite strongly, including overseas markets, so it's important to actually focus on the long, even at this point in time. The only weak sector is actually oil and gas and marine stocks. Let's take a look at, for example, S&P 500. You can see the very strong rally after the Brexit incidents, and again shallow pullback, break on the upside. The ascent is right now at a reduced angle, so it's losing momentum. So we do expect retracements. Market really never go in straight lines. So after that itself, we may actually look for a break on the upside. So we also see that in Nasdaq. Nasdaq is actually very strong. You can see the strong move. Again, if you notice over here, it's losing momentums. And we have a reversal bar yesterday. And we've increased volume, so it's likely to actually pull back from here. Again, market never go in a straight line. Look at the regional market, emerging markets, for example, Jakarta. You can see the extremely strong move over here. Of course, right now it's actually pulling back, and we also see that in the Thai markets, Philippine markets. So overall, markets generally strong. Even Hong Kong itself is pretty strong. So our focus will be on long. Now there could be temporary retracements, but again, shorting doesn't seem to give you the advantage. Now let's take a look at the dynamic stocks that were actually running. This is Singapore ONG. Notice over here we have the first break followed by a retracement. So here you probably will get up. This is your re-entry when you break the high. And it actually makes successive high over here with white range bar. And this is the time for you to actually get out when you reject the high. Alright, so you actually close poor, and this is a white range bar. When you close poor, it's quite negative and become range bound. The worst case scenario, you will get out here when you trade below the band. Now currently, the stock is actually trading sideways, so we like to actually look for it to complete and eventually break above this high here. This recent high here of 1285. This is Thai beverage. After this break itself, you notice was stacking the bands quite nicely, and of course here we have gotten out. This is your white range reversal bar. Stock is currently trading sideways below the bands. Again, wait for it to finish, and eventually when it break the high, this will be our re-entry. Some of the very large cap stocks also run. This include Jardine CNC. This is really for discussions because we do not like to trade stocks that is low liquidity. This is a trigger. Notice actually it trades extremely strong here with gaps and white range bar. It's a sign of strength, and followed by sideways move and begin to actually eat into the band. Alright, so again, during this period itself, you notice you lose momentums. For a short-term trader, you can just take your profits, alright, and look for a new setup. Sing Medical. On the run for 10 days, this stock itself, if you notice, after the break, it trade well above the band. And they start to actually eat inwards and tanking for the first time over here. So you notice the momentum is reducing. And again, when you see a situation like this, you can actually lock in partial profit and trail the balance using the band. Now, a stock we've been discussing for many times already is City Neon. There were numerous entry. The most recent entry is right here. If you notice, actually a few days ago there was a wide range a bar here, but I managed to trade off as low. So you got to watch it closely. And right now they are trading a small range with low volume. I like to see eventually trade above the upper band. That's important. Okay, and usually after a series of this small bar, we do expect some big actions to happen. So you should monitor it closely. Let's discuss stock is actually New Silk Road. We have a very nice break here. Notice the trust bar here. Again, if you notice that this bar is actually quite long, this may well be an extreme bar. You can take partial profit and through the balance. To notice today bar is that you tag the upper band. Again, it's extremely low volume, so we should not be too concerned with the hard position if you have. But nevertheless, if the volume were to pick up significantly, there may be times to actually get out and look for a new setup. What our stock has performed well is MM2 Asia since its IPO days. The most recent break is right here, followed by a pullback. So if you're intraday trader, you have gotten in here, put your stop loss one tick below the breakout bar, which is the bar 1. Notice extremely high volume, so we do expect pullback. So far the pullback is healthy. We'd like to eventually break above this high here of 74 cents. So end of day traders will wait for this to break. So it's good to actually set your alert here. Low for it to actually break and you capture this upward move after the pullback. Now, property is not a very strong sector, but we do experience two property stocks that actually move. This include Wing Tai and Yinlock. Let's take a look at Yinlock. This actually came with a gap, so usually we try to avoid. If you have a gap, if you have to take the trades, you've got to just be mindful, take smaller risks. And it was good to actually get out the trade yesterday. If you notice, it traded a series of wide range bar, and the stock eventually closed poor, so rejecting the high is short-term negative sign. So today you have another pullback. So far the pullbacks appear to be healthy. Notice extremely low volume. Again, may become range bound, and then we look for new setups and go long. We eventually will break the high of 1295. It's Wing Tai. Yesterday actually, 3 days ago, it broke up, followed by a shallow pullback. End of day traders wait for this to break the high here of 182. Again, if intraday traders, if you were to trade this, put a stop loss one tick below the low here of 1755. So stop loss is 175. So far the pullback is healthy. You notice a low volume. Now, palm oil related stocks is actually strong because actually the crude palm oil has moved up quite significantly, and that may have fueled the run. And obviously for First Resource itself, we do see earning. Perhaps earning itself was a driver in addition to the crude palm oil strong move. If you notice, actually it broke up very nicely. Follow through with extremely high volume here. We don't call that a volume spike, but you can see that it's really quite high, and normally that is likely to go a pullback, and obviously it's testing the resistance. So today it trade with a small body currently and low volume, small like a rest day. Again, using your bands to actually trail the position accordingly. Now to take this opportunity to take a look at some of the strong stocks we have discussed before, but certainly experiencing fatigue. This is best worth. You notice actually it's actually trading sideways, and the band has actually formed into a line, so it's losing its volatility. Alright, so remember we trade above the band because volatility increased, and right now volatility has decreased. That's why it formed a line, and you trade also below the line, so we could have gotten up this position, alright, with small profit or break even. Again, we look for it eventually to move upward. Now I must take a look at the chart in context. If you notice, this is a very nice run, and right now volatility has increased quite significantly. It's become quite choppy. CMMC Gold Mine. This was discussed about about placing the stop loss. We place a stop loss at the gap whenever you have a gap. If you notice, this is extremely gap, and this is a extreme bar. If you take a look at this other bar, this is much longer than the rest of the bar. It does indicate it's an exhaustion move, and you must be able to lock in profit quickly. And if you notice, actually the DLI is very big. This is a parabolic move, and we have gotten out partially on this day itself, and then maybe get out the rest on this day. If you're able to, the worst case is when this bar happened. This is wide range reversible. Second reason, it closed the gap, which is negative. All right, so right now the stocks bounce off, but it's range bound. Now, some of the, of course, the weak stocks, as I mentioned, oil related stocks, notice the trigger and it went down, and obviously here you could have covered your position. A more recent one is Yangzijiang. Alright, notice the trust bar when it break down and makes successive low. This is the up reversal bar, again you could have gotten out. Now remember, shorting is not really something we're going to look at right now because market is generally much stronger. Pacific Radiant. Notice the very nice trend downwards, and obviously here you probably cover your position when they actually eat into the band. Now there are some stocks that break up but didn't quite perform well. Let's take a look. This is SETS, which is one of the blue chips. Over here we have a break. I notice also that it actually gap above the closing price, so here you generally be more wary, and you open a gap but actually close by high volume. So if you're taking the trades, you should monitor closely because we generally do not like a reversal bar with high volume. Indicates a lot of selling. Alright, so if you're taken this trade, the stop loss is one tick below this low. China Aviation Oil. This stock has performed very well, but notice actually experiencing fatigue. Notice this break itself began to trade sideways. Now currently trade below the band. So you may want to get out of this position. It's just that the volume is low, so nevertheless, we like the stocks to perform shortly after you break up. The important thing in any trading system, a good trading systems, the ultimate thing is that you must be able to mitigate your risk. You cannot have losses that actually exceed your winning trades. Alright, so this is a very key important principle. Value. Again, if you notice the stock itself, there was this trigger, alright, followed by a re-trigger here, and actually it failed. So again, we do not like to actually hang on to it and quickly get out. Notice it trade below the line. It's a sign of weakness. Okay, and right now it's become very choppy. So very important is always mitigate your risk. So again, as mentioned, market generally was strong. We are experiencing pullback right now. Regional market likewise, and the Western market as well. So do expect some kind of weaknesses in the short terms, but eventually we like to actually see the upward move from those strong stocks will be discussed. Again, at this point in time, it's important to focus more on the long than the short because they give you more better edge.